Claude, right now, is probably the best AI model you can use, and very few people know that Anthropic just released a full learning platform with 13 free certified AI courses taught by the people behind Claude itself. I've taken every single course over the last 9 days, and honestly, a few of them are some of the best free AI training I've ever done. So in this video, I'll be breaking down all 13 courses in the next 12 minutes, covering what each one teaches, which ones are actually worth finishing, and the order you should take them in depending on what you do for work. The first course is the one I'd send anyone who's never used Claude before, and it's called Claude 101. This is the course that covers every core feature of Claude that almost nobody actually touches, even after using it every day for months. It walks you through projects, artifacts, skills, connectors, enterprise search, and research mode, which are the features that actually turn Claude into something you build workflows inside, instead of just a chatbot you talk to. The course is structured in short modules that each take a few minutes, with use case breakdowns by role at the end so marketers, writers, analysts, and operations people can see how Claude fits their specific work. It takes about 1 to 2 hours from start to finish, it's completely free, and you walk away with a verifiable certificate you can add to LinkedIn. You don't need a subscription or a credit card to sign up, and there's no hidden paywall anywhere in the process. The reason this course is first is that almost every other course in the Academy assumes you already know what projects are, how artifacts work, and what Claude's research mode actually does, so skipping this one leaves you confused later. If you only take one course off this entire list and you don't write code, this is the one. But once you've got the basics of Claude down, the question shifts, because using Claude to answer questions is one thing, and using it to actually write and ship code is a completely different workflow. Claude Code is Anthropic's command line tool for developers, and there are 2 separate courses that cover it in the Academy, starting with Claude Code 101 and then moving into Claude Code in Action. Claude Code 101 is the shorter introduction covering how the tool fits into a daily development workflow, how it reads your code base, how it edits files, and how it runs commands on your behalf. Claude Code in Action is the follow-up, and at about 1 hour of content, it's widely considered the highest value course in the entire Academy. It covers 15 lectures across real development tasks, SDK concepts, and how Claude Code connects with other systems in your stack. The reason this one stands out is that it's the fastest practical course in the Academy, which means 1 hour of your time gets you a certificate directly from Anthropic plus a real understanding of how to run agentic coding workflows. For developers, these 2 courses together form the shortest route to actually using Claude Code well, because 101 sets up the concepts and in Action walks you through using them on work that looks like what you actually do day to day, including things like navigating a codebase you've never seen before, planning a feature before writing it, and handing off longer tasks to Claude while you work on something else. If you write code for a living or you're learning to, these are the 2 courses I'd take first, before anything else in the Academy. Claude Code handles the day-to-day coding work, but at some point most developers want to go one level deeper and actually build applications of their own on top of Claude, which is exactly what the longest course in the Academy is built for. The deepest course in the entire Anthropic Academy is called Building with the Claude API, and it runs over 8 hours. This one covers the full production toolkit for working with Claude through the API directly, including how to build and evaluate system prompts that actually work, create custom and external tools, and understand the workflows and agent architectures behind real-world applications. If you're building anything that uses Claude in the background, whether that's a chatbot, automation tools, or AI-powered features, this is the course that teaches you how to structure it properly. Very few other places offer a single structured curriculum that goes from beginner concepts all the way to production deployment for one specific AI model, which is exactly what makes this course the one that replaces weeks of reading scattered documentation. The course is structured so you can stop at any point and still walk away with usable skills, but finishing the full 8 hours gives you the foundation for actually shipping applications on the Claude API. Compared to AI engineering courses that charge thousands of dollars for similar material, this one being free from the company that makes Claude is the part that actually changes the economics of learning this skill. The API course gets you building real applications on Claude, but the next thing you hit is how to connect those applications to the rest of your world, whether that's your files, your calendar, your database, or anything else your workflow actually depends on. The Model Context Protocol, or MCP, is the standard that lets Claude talk to external tools, databases, and services. And Anthropic's Introduction to MCP course is currently the most structured way to learn it. Before this course existed, learning MCP meant piecing together information from scattered blog posts, GitHub READMEs, and fragments of documentation that lived across dozens of repositories. The course walks you through building MCP servers and clients from the ground up using Python, and it covers the 3 core primitives that MCP is built on, which are tools, resources, and prompts. This course takes about 2 to 3 hours to finish, and for developers, it's the fastest way to go from knowing MCP exists to actually being able to build one yourself, which in practice means walking out of the course able to hook Claude up to the specific tools and services you work with every day. Finishing this course gets you to the point where you can build an MCP server that works on your machine, but actually shipping one that other people or other applications can rely on is a completely different level of problem. which is where the next course picks up. The follow-up to the Intro to MCP course is called Model Context Protocol Advanced Topics, and it's the course that takes you from understanding MCP to actually deploying it in real production systems. This one covers the patterns that don't fit in an introductory course, like how to handle sampling and notifications, how to give your MCP server file system access, and which transport mechanism to use depending on where your server needs to run. The course runs about 3 to 4 hours, and it assumes you've already finished the intro course because the concepts compound, and skipping ahead means you'll be confused within the first few lessons. Tool design and MCP together cover 18% of the Claude Certified Architect exam, so if you're planning to earn that credential eventually, these two MCP courses are required preparation and not optional. For senior developers building production AI systems, this is the course that gives you the patterns you actually need once your MCP server has to handle real traffic, behave properly when something breaks, and stay secure when multiple people or applications start depending on it. That's the entire developer track in the Academy covered, but Anthropic didn't stop there. The other half of the library is built for people who use AI at work without ever touching a line of code, and the first course in that track is the one I'd recommend to anyone making decisions about how AI gets used at their company. If you manage a team that uses AI tools, or you're the one making decisions about how AI gets adopted at your company, the most useful course in the Academy for you is AI Fluency Framework and Foundations. This course isn't a Claude tutorial. It's a thinking framework for working with AI systems effectively, efficiently, ethically, and safely. The framework is built around 4 ideas that they call the 4 Ds, which are delegation, description, discernment, and diligence. Delegation is knowing when to hand a task to AI and when to do it yourself. Description is the skill of clearly telling the AI what you actually want. Discernment is evaluating whether the output is any good before you use it. Diligence is the responsibility you still carry even when AI did most of the work. If you're a manager or a director at your company, or anyone else whose job involves deciding how your team uses AI, this course will change the way you think about AI adoption more than any Claude tutorial ever could. The course takes about 2 to 3 hours, it's completely free, and because it was released under a Creative Commons license, institutions can actually adapt it for their own training programs without paying licensing fees. The Framework and Foundations course is general enough that anyone can take it, but Anthropic built 3 more versions of it tuned for specific kinds of work, and the first one is for anyone whose job involves teaching. The AI Fluency for Educators course is built for faculty, instructional designers, and anyone running an educational program who needs to integrate AI into how they teach. The course takes the AI Fluency framework and applies it directly to the actual work teachers do every day, covering the practical side of using AI in curriculum design and the harder questions about what education should even look like now that students have access to these tools. The specific focus here is different from the framework course because it goes beyond general AI thinking and gets into classroom-specific applications like enhancing course design, creating coherent learning materials, and developing authentic assessments, while modeling responsible AI collaborations for students. It takes about 2 to 3 hours to finish, and Anthropic also announced a higher education advisory board alongside these courses, chaired by Rick Levin, who is the former president of Yale University. For teachers or anyone in education, this is a more specific version of the framework course and probably the one you'd actually find more useful in your day-to-day work. That's the AI Fluency version built for the people at the front of the classroom, but Anthropic also built one for the people sitting in the seats, because using AI as a student involves a completely different set of questions. AI Fluency for Students takes the core fluency framework and reframes it around learning, career planning, and academic success. The course is built to help students develop the ability to work with AI responsibly during their studies, which includes knowing when using AI is actually helpful and how to use AI tools as a thinking partner that enhances learning and career development rather than replacing their own critical thinking and creativity. The course takes about 1 to 2 hours, and if you're currently in school or recently graduated, this is the version of AI Fluency that's going to hit closest to your actual situation. One honest note is that if you already use Claude every day as a student, some of the material in this course is going to feel basic, because it's designed for students who haven't started yet. Students get their own version and teachers get their own, but there's a third group Anthropic built a course for, which is the people whose actual job is teaching AI Fluency as a subject to other people. The Teaching AI Fluency course is specifically for academic faculty, instructional designers, and anyone who leads workshops or classes where AI Fluency is the subject matter. This one is more niche than the other Fluency courses, because it's not about learning to use AI yourself. It's about how to teach AI Fluency to other people in an instructor-led setting, which is a completely different skill. The course covers how educators use the 4D framework with AI to improve teaching, course design, learning materials, and authentic assessments, while modeling responsible AI collaboration for students, and how to run workshops that actually produce real behavior change instead of just delivering information that fades within a week. If you work in learning and development, run internal training programs at a company, or teach AI-related content at any level of education, this is the course that turns you into someone who can actually teach AI Fluency instead of just having it yourself. It takes about 1 to 2 hours, and because it's released under the same Creative Commons license as the other Fluency courses, you can can adapt the material for your own classroom or workshop without asking permission. The final version of the AI Fluency course is the most narrowly targeted one in the entire track because it's built for a sector where AI adoption looks completely different from how it looks at a regular company. The AI Fluency for Nonprofits course is built for nonprofit professionals who need to figure out how to use AI to increase organizational impact while staying true to their mission. The reason Anthropic made a nonprofit-specific course is that the questions nonprofits face with AI are different from the questions businesses face, because the goal isn't just efficiency, it's efficiency without compromising the values the organization exists to uphold. The course covers how to use AI for grant writing, fundraising, donor communications, program delivery, internal operations, and leadership, plus the ethical questions that hit nonprofits harder than most sectors, like data privacy for beneficiaries and avoiding AI outputs that misrepresent the communities you serve. For people running small nonprofits with limited budgets, this course is one of the clearest applications of AI Fluency, because saving even a few hours a week on administrative work translates directly into more time spent on the mission itself. It takes about 1 to 2 hours, and if you're not in the nonprofit sector, most of what this course covers is already in the Framework Foundations course, so you can skip this one without missing anything. That's the entire AI Fluency track covered, which leaves 2 final courses in the Academy. Both of them are built for the exact same situation, which is when your company has already decided to deploy Claude through one of the 2 biggest cloud platforms. The last 2 courses in the Academy are the Claude with Amazon Bedrock course and the Claude with Google Vertex AI course, and they're essentially parallel versions of the same training built for 2 different cloud environments. Both courses cover how to set up Claude inside their respective cloud platform, how authentication and model access work, how to handle model versioning, and how to plug Claude into existing applications without breaking the surrounding infrastructure. The Bedrock course was originally built as an accreditation program for AWS employees before Anthropic released it to the public, and the Vertex course is the direct equivalent for teams on Google Cloud. Each one takes about 2 to 3 hours, and the lessons you take from one translate to the other, so if you're evaluating which cloud to deploy Claude on, taking both courses actually gives you a fair comparison of the 2 environments. If you work in enterprise on AWS or Google Cloud, take whichever one matches your stack, and for everyone else, these are the 2 safest courses to skip in the entire Academy. And the one skill that shows up across almost every course in this Academy is prompt engineering, because how well Claude performs for you comes down to how well you can write the instructions you give it. So if you want to sharpen your prompting, I summarized Google's entire 6-hour prompt engineering course into 10 minutes, and you can watch that right here. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.